Hi, this is Max Holborn providing a review on my very first Chic Sparrow Traveler's Notebook. Now, it has been a while since I provided a YouTube video, and before I really enjoyed making YouTube videos, and unfortunately there was some major milestones occurring in my life. Well, after 12 years of military service, the administration has seen it fit for myself as well as hundreds of other active duty service members to leave the military. And 2 months ago I was making the transition to civilian life. I was crafting a resume, I was updating my wardrobe, working on my interview skills and applying for jobs. And as luck would have it, my old organization, the one I was last assigned to while I was on active duty, wanted to hire me back as a civilian. So the transition has been pretty smooth. I took off the uniform, put on a shirt and tie, and I am back working with the Department of Defense. So things are a little hectic and it's starting to slow down and giving me time to do things like YouTube videos. So here we go. This is my review of my very first Sparrow, and this is the Narrow size Sparrow Traveler's Notebook. The material, the leather, is a storyteller leather. Yes, so it is a bit, it's a bit firm, but it maintains its structure very nicely, but it's very bendable and things, and it's nice to the touch. So I really enjoy the storyteller leather of my Sparrow. And what else? I elected to have the pin loop, which is really nice. I don't have one on there, but when I do have one on there, it's really good. And it also came with this elastic to keep the Sparrow closed. Now, how I came upon this particular Narrow Sparrow was that Jennifer Harvey in one of the Facebook groups had posted her material on the group. So highlighting in particular this nice deep groove, this gash right here, which when you run your finger through it, I mean, it's just a really deep, groove right there. So it's very noticeable, and she posted that on the group and said if anyone wanted it, go ahead and say so. So of course I called dibs for the storyteller leather, and she was gracious enough to craft this nice narrow size Sparrow, and I just utterly love it. I didn't customize it with a name. I just call it Scar because of obvious reasons, and I love Scar. Scar is my best friend when it comes to hunting, which is the reason why I have this Sparrow. It is my hunting journal. Scar is holding all the information in my journey to be a self-sufficient subsistence hunter. I am not a trophy hunter. I only thought of this idea maybe a year and a half ago, and I like the idea of harvesting my own meat. So for 3 reasons. One, I like to decrease the cost of grocery bills. 2, harvesting game is organic. Deer and turkey aren't pumped full of these hormones that you have no idea what they are. So they're completely natural. And 3, I don't like DC traffic. I really hate it. So to prevent the chances or further chances of there being traffic all the time, I want to help reduce the population of deer, because there is an overage of deer here in Virginia. So I want to reduce the number of roadside accidents and keep people who may not think that they're hunting because they're hitting deer with their BMWs and Civics. So that is another reason why I enjoy harvesting my own meat. Again, I'm a subsistence hunter. I'm not. I respect deer, turkey, game, every animal that God has put on this earth, and I plan to use every part of that animal to feed my family. So there you have it. And my first hunting experience was this last hunting season. And in order to be able to hunt, you need to get a Virginia hunting license. Well, here in Virginia, of course, you need to get a hunting license, and you need to pass a test. All that is in here, so to help me become a hunter. So what I have in SCAR are 4 inserts, 2 of which are graph paper inserts. One is an accounting style insert, and the other is a Japanese journal type insert, all of which came from the Yellow Paper House. I'm sorry I don't recall the names of each of these different styles, but I will describe them as I go along. But my first insert I called I called Carnivore, and this is the journal insert, and we'll go over that in a few minutes here. But I used this camo tape, which I procured from Michael's, and well, actually my wife procured. But she was going through there. She asked me if I wanted camo tape, and she ran across some. And I said, "Yeah, go ahead, get them all." So I got like a bunch of camo tape now, and it's like black, gray, white, different shades of well, it's slightly translucent, and so it kind of takes some of the color of the paper material that the tape goes on, so it's kind of neat. And of course I used a what is that called, my label maker. It's a Dynamo Letra label maker to make these. So that's Carnivore. And let me go to a vanilla version of the journal, or one that hasn't been altered yet. So it uses the grid style for the good majority of the journal, and on top, you have this Scantron style indications for dates. So you fill in what day it was, you fill in which month, you fill in the day of the week. You also if you're the type that wonders or keeps track of the celestial state of the moon, you could fill that in. So yeah, I mean, if you're like a werewolf or something, you could fill in the state of the moon right there. And also, as far as weather goes, you could fill in weather, or shade in, or however you want, whether it was there was overcast, sunny, if it was rainy, or it was snowy. So all that at your disposal, all kinds of neat ways, to indicate the weather, the celestial state, and the day of the year. So there you have it. And what I use it for is to log all my hunting outings. So in this section, I usually write my loadout, the type of equipment that I brought, gear, like my clothes, everything for my clothes, my tools, my weapon, everything like that I write down. Where we hunted. For me, this past hunting season, I hunted in Quantico, the Marine Corps base. And I indicate what section in Quantico I hunted. I also log in the time I departed home, the time I returned, and then a brief description of the weather. Even though I do have this section here, I kind of want to add more details, like if it was really humid, things like that, if there was a lot of snow, just more detail is all. And then I provided a summary of the hunting outing. So I add things, of course, like field dressing. I field dressed a deer. I know how to track deer. I write down signs of the rut during deer season. And I write things down like, okay, well, it was late spring in turkey season, and it was warmer than usual in this past spring, or this current spring that we're in. It was warmer than usual, and unfortunately there was also a lot of bugs. So I wasn't prepared for that, and unfortunately during this time I didn't prep at all. I didn't have bug spray. So at the end, I had bug bites like all over right here. I had mite chigger things, that did something here with a rash. And then I had all these bites like right here and right here on this shoulder too, just everywhere. And I must have pulled off like 4 ticks. I pulled out 4 ticks when I got home. And I also fought a tick on the way home. I was on 95. The tick crawled up my neck. I pulled it out, I threw it in the center console in my minivan. And then it was staring at me, and then I crushed it, with my Starbucks cup, I crushed it. And then it was like this. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm driving, yeah. 10 minutes later, it's flipped up and it's like coming after me like that while I'm driving. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So all that's written down here. I mean, during the hunt and even post-hunt, because apparently I had a fight with the tick. But the next time, I was definitely prepared. And I know that during this time of the year, bugs really start becoming ferocious. So I will be, even before spring turkey season starts, I don't care if it's still unseasonably cold, everything is going to be doused in permethrin, DEET, bug spray, all those chemicals. I'm going to fill my tub up and dunk everything in there. So yeah, that's the carnivore insert, and that is the Japanese style insert that I use. I'm sorry I can't find the name. I will figure it out, and then I will put the insert name in the description of this YouTube video. Next up, I have armor, tools, and trinkets. Yeah, so I'm a geek. I used to play World of Warcraft, and I like using those terms, armor and trinkets. So that's what I call this insert, and it's the accounting style insert. So obviously I put down for armor my hunting apparel. So I write down all my gloves and my hats, my caps, socks, boots. I'm really into First Light hunting gear, so I write all that down, when I bought them and how much they were. So yeah, if you ever start going hunting one of these days, I highly recommend First Light gear. It's that merino wool stuff, and it's amazing stuff. I mean, you could be like sweating, perspiring, and you're excreting all this stuff, and it's soaked up in your merino wool. You hang it up, you let it dry, you smell it, and there's nothing. Your funk is not on this. Well, I don't know what happened to it, but you don't smell. You don't smell your stuff. You don't smell you on the merino wool. So it's good for like hunting, so that because animals with really good senses of smell like deer will smell your funk. So merino wool, First Light, good. All right. I also put down my first aid kit, as well as my fire and light kit for contingency purposes. So I itemize all my bandages, antiseptic, Neosporin, wraps, band-aids, all that stuff is in here, all itemized. And then I have on my fire starter kit, matches, flint starter, and flashlights, and butane lighters, and stuff like that. So tools, multi-tools, hunting knife, skinning knife, bags, tree stand. What else? Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. I put all that there. Okay, and last part of this section, I put in the inspection and maintenance log. So then the night before I go out, I do an inspection, I have everything packed up, I call it good, and I also log whenever I clean my weapon, and I also inspect it, so I'll write down anything pertinent that might, you know, show signs of weakness, malfunction, whatever. All that will be in this section. And I allocated, you know, a few pages with camo tape so I could put in future labels for maintenance and inspection. And that is the accounting insert, otherwise known as armor, tools, and trinkets. Now, the hunting grounds. That incorporates a lot of the material, the hunting literature that I got, that I received in order to prepare for the, you know, this test that you had to take. So, and I took safety very seriously. That was like the first thing I read about, because of course I don't know anything about hunting. You know, this is my first time. My father didn't hunt, and his father's father didn't hunt, and so on and so forth. So I don't come from a lineage of hunters. You know, I grew up in the city, so it's a learning experience for me. And of course, I have a sparrow, so I'm documenting everything, and I hope to become a good hunter one of these days. So all that is on here. It's called Safety and Survival, and I also highlighted it with Blaze Orange. Ha! Because you gotta wear that, especially during deer season. So here, I mostly highlighted, well, I highlighted as much of the safety things as possible, but more importantly, I highlighted the safety things that you would encounter with a high probability. By that I mean, you know, what would you do when you go out hunting that's a high probability and that safety is involved? Going out in the woods and carrying your firearm. There's a high probability you're going to do that if you're going to go out hunting. You're going to walk in the woods with your weapon. So I have a section for that. And of course I go hunting with my buddy. He's my mentor, teaching me the ropes. And of course I follow him, so you know, we're single file. We're not like stormtroopers or anything, you know, trying to hide our numbers, but we just go single file because I'm following him. It's not like deer or turkey have any kind of tactical sense for that, but it just so happens to work that way. And so, of course, when you're holding a weapon, I'm following him. Of course, I don't want to point my muzzle at my buddy who's in front of me. So this section would show, okay, this is how you hold your weapon if you're in single file and you have someone in front of you. So if this was the front of the gun, I could hold it like I'm cradling a baby. It's called a cradle carry. So that's on there, stick figure that shows how to do that. And or I could do over the shoulder and hold my weapon here, holding the butt of the gun and the muzzle pointing there. Common sense stuff so that your muzzle is not pointed at your buddy. So it's also designed so that anyone who wants to look at this can pick it up if they need a refresher, or you know, there's something about hypothermia or heat exhaustion, how to treat and all that stuff. It's in here, and it's because there's a high probability that might happen here in the Virginia area. Yeah, it gets cold enough where you could be hypothermic, and it could certainly get warm enough if it's super humid that you might get heat exhaustion. So the high probability stuff I expanded a little bit more, and that's all in my safety and survival section in my hunting grounds insert. So yeah, okay. I also include a map of Quantico, Marine Corps base Quantico, their hunting areas. So good place to hunt, a lot of deer. Oh, there's something. Hang on, bear with me. I know there's another section that Okay. Now, the reason I got into hunting was to get a turkey. So I studied turkeys. This is the section where I document the research I do on my prey. I know nothing of wild turkeys or how to hunt them, so before the season I researched it. So in here, I write down kind of the habits and behaviors of wild turkey, where they like to congregate, what they look like, what a gobbler looks like, what a hen looks like, and to be able to identify them, kind of how to hunt them, which means be super quiet. You have to be very, very quiet to hunt wild turkey, and they have really good eyesight too. So if they even see the slightest movement, they'll go running. If you look out of place and you move, oh, bye turkey. So yeah, all that's in here in the hunting grounds. But yeah, I mean, turkey, that is tough game though, I gotta say. During the fall, turkey season during the fall is really, really hard. In the spring at least they gobble, because the gobblers want to mate with the hen, so they make these noises, or whatever, and of course you are trying to sound like a hen to lure the gobbler, and then when they get in range, then you take your shot, and then hopefully it's a good one. So during the spring, my buddy and I, aside from the bug bites and the tick infestation and stuff, we got to call in the gobblers. So it sounded like they were coming close on a couple hunting outings, but they never came within range. They always went dead quiet, and that was it. So we heard them in the spring, but I never got a turkey this whole hunting season, which is fine. It's a learning experience, and I'm a newbie hunter. My buddy got one though, but that was good. I hate him for it though. But during the fall, I really wanted my turkey. I didn't want a butterball for Christmas or Thanksgiving. I wanted a wild turkey because I harvested it. I got my license. I did all the research, and I cut out the middleman, and I got my wild, organic turkey. But it didn't happen. Oh man, yeah, there was one time I truly believe that, well, once I become a proficient hunter, but just kind of like generally speaking, I think more hunters will talk about the one that got away versus the one they got. And the ones that got away was seven turkeys for me. And it's just so happened that during the fall, my buddy and I both brought our tree stands, and then we were about maybe 65 yards apart. So we climb up 30 feet in the tree, and we kind of post there, kind of waiting. And after about 2.5 hours, I get a text from my buddy, hey, let's get out of here. So I'm like, all right, fine. I safe my weapon, I take out the ammunition, I tie in my rope to my firearm, I lower it, I come down to my tree stand, and then I look across the dry creek about 30 yards, and there is 7 of them, single file, like they were making fun of us, single file. And so I'm moving quietly, I'm reaching for my weapon, and of course it's unloaded. I had to safe and unload it. So the action's already open, so I put my round inside, and then I close the action, and then all gone. Blink of an eye, so fast. But that's okay. I mean, it was fun anyway. I mean, it's a hard game during the fall, but it made my heart pound, and I was like really super excited that I could see him and things like that. But it's okay. It's all fun. It's all part of the learning experience, and it's also a story that I can share. So yeah. So that's the hunting grounds, and then finally the arsenal. Arsenal insert is another one of those graph inserts and graph paper inserts. And I just write down everything about my Mossberg 835 Ultimag shotgun. Well, there's nothing there. My Ultimag, yeah, shotgun. So it came with the slug barrel for deer and a thug barrel for turkeys. So one for bird shot and one for slug rounds. So I learned everything about my shotgun. I know how to take it apart, put it back together, how to clean it, and I feel pretty comfortable about shooting it because I know how it patterns, how I feel about the patterns, and how comfortable I am, because 40 yards is about, it's a good shot if you get a turkey at 40 yards, but for me, I'm pretty comfortable at 25. My marksmanship could use some work. So basically, for turkey, you want to aim, for the neck and head area to save as much meat as possible on the turkey. So you really want to be a good shot, and yeah, I'm comfortable at 25, 30 at the most. So it's definitely still a learning experience. I like to document my shooting outings. So I write down how I feel, what the weather conditions were, and just I document how I adjusted for wind, for example. All that isn't here, but yeah, that's my Arsenal insert. So yeah, those are all my inserts. So I got my Arsenal one, and then I have my hunting grounds, my armor tools and trinkets. And then ultimately I have my Carnivore inserts, all going into my lovely Sparrow Traveler's Notebook. I also use this money clip to hold on to my tags, my license, and this Sparrow goes with me in my hunting pack. So yeah, I don't know if you can see it right there, but I use a Rush 72 pack. I use my Rush 72 pack, so it fits in nice in there. So that goes with me, and yeah, so that does it. My Sparrow is really awesome. I'm glad that I got it, and it's just been so helpful. I mean, I'm the type that likes to document things, and I can't remember. I'm getting old, so I can't remember everything, and I love having everything organized into this Sparrow. So if you haven't gotten a Traveler's Notebook yet, I highly recommend it. I still use my Filofax. I wanted to test drive a Sparrow. I heard so much about them, and I just love it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, got something out of it, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.